Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Together in the Trades. Brittany, if we're talking too loud, just let me know. We are here at the Together in the Trades event in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee, which is the hometowns to Jaymz Shields. I love this city, man. And Brittany, great pick. This place is awesome. I guess the single guy says that, right? But
I know. Maybe on that one, Paul.
No, hopefully I'm not single much longer. But we got Ben Neyman back in the house. Welcome back. I was just in Alabama. Now
Yes,
we're in
sir.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
See you twice in 1 week.
Yeah, it's an honor.
Yeah, and I told James, hey, I'm coming to Nashville. Hopefully you can make something happen. So thanks for coming out.
Absolutely, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, thanks again to Brian and Liz and Caleb and Brittany for giving me the time and space to. I love podcasting in person. The episodes just turn out so much better. As you know, Ben, we just did a banger episode.
Yeah,
and
that was a good episode. I
So
really
good.
enjoyed that, Paul. It
Yeah.
was a good episode. Got a lot of knowledge with Eli, and it's just it's amazing how much you learn with other people that surround in the community. It's a great environment, and you get to learn from each other and build from one another. It's a great thing.
Yeah, so thank you, Brian Fullerton, Liz, Caleb and Brittany Allman, Together in the Trades, for just letting the Green Street podcast be a part of this event and bring you guys weeks worth of content.
It's very important.
From here. So thankful for that. And also thanks to our tour sponsors. This is the finale to my summer road tour. I've been in Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, and thank God I'm going back to Georgia tomorrow. It's been a wild tour, but that's all been possible by our friends at Echo, Company Cam, and Ballard Products. So we're going to take a quick moment, hear a word from today's show sponsor, and coming up, we're going to hear the story of Second Mile and what James got going on, and kind of a little bit about your friendship in this community. So we'll be right back.
One eternity later.
Alrighty, guys, excellence in broadcasting from downtown Nashville, Tennessee. This is a lot of fun, man. So, James, I know you've been on the program before, but give us an abbreviated summary of your business. Used to be at Chick-fil-A. Now you're full-time. Tell us a little bit of the story, and then we'll dive deep.
Okay. So first off, man, thanks for being here, and glad you got to see Nashville. It's an amazing place to be now, and it's really cool to visit and check out. There's so many things to do and always something going on downtown. So good location for the event. Appreciate Brian and everybody for having us here today. I started out, typical cutting grass on my street, when I grew up, and, started working at Chick-fil-A through high school, college, and hit the ceiling there, couldn't go any higher. Still did grass on my day off at Chick-fil-A, but eventually got to the point where it's like, okay, man, I enjoy doing this. I want to take this to the next level. And so like a lot of entrepreneurs do, you leap out on faith and you take that step, and I haven't looked back since. Has it been tough? Yes, absolutely, but wouldn't have it any other way, man. Definitely love the entrepreneur journey, the trials, the tribulations, all that come along with it.
So tell us about your business. Are you solo? Do you have employees? How many accounts do you do? Do you do lawn maintenance, landscaping, a mixture? What has kind of been your formula for success?
Yeah, so I've kind of found a really good niche in my area. I do a lot of cleanups, like crazy before and after type cleanups. And if you guys follow me on IG, you kind of see them in my stories and stuff. But I get calls for stuff all the time, and it's mostly landscaping, cleanup, clearing out type stuff. And it's stuff where you can do a quick turnaround where you can get it done in one day, or 7 to 8 man hours, and in and out, and it's good profit. And I scaled back as far as my lawn accounts go. I have about 50 right now, which is
50?
Yeah, 50. Which
That's
is
mow, edge, trim, blow?
That's mow, edge, trim, blow, but it's small compared to a lot of people. But I think it's which everybody says this, but it's quality over quantity, man. So if you got good accounts that pay you well, you don't need a whole bunch of accounts, especially if you're doing multiple services at one house, which I do. It's mulch, it's hedge trimming 3 times a year, all that type of stuff. And one of my rules of thumb, I always try to bid on some commercial stuff and get one good contract that's yearly that'll float me through the slow months. And so I picked up a new HOA, which is a 80 house HOA, and it's just the commons. So it's all the commons doing the lawn maintenance, irrigation, shutting on and turning off at the end of the year, that type of thing, and hedge trimming and mulch. And it's a very, very good contract, and it's weekly cutting, so it's super easy, and that's my bread and butter. And then, my 50 lawn accounts, that kind of takes care of my payroll, and then, landscaping is filler work. So we've had a pretty good run. I try to do 2 to 3 days of mowing, and then the rest of the week I landscape. So.
Nice. And are you riding solo, or do you have an employee, a subcontractor? What's the team looking like?
I got right now I got a full-time guy, and then I got a part-time guy. So I got one guy that rolls with me every day, and then I got another guy when we're heavy, or especially when we do the HOA or we do 15 to 20 and it's hot, I'll get him to come out too. And I'm big on networking and linking up, man. And there's a company, a local company, my buddy Gooch & Son Lawn Care. He has a lot. I don't know how he gets them, but he has so many commercial contracts. It's nuts. And he just doesn't have the manpower to do them. And I got 2 really good guys that work with me, so we go team up with him and do his big stuff, and then we kind of feed each other work. We kind of help each other out, and that's been a really, really good partnership. We've kind of done that the past 2 years, and he has his own business, and I have my own business, but we kind of share guys. Hey, you think I could borrow your guy for the day? Yeah, man, take him. You know, he wants to work. You know, so it's been a blessing, man.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, how did y'all? I know on social media y'all are really good friends and are kind of tagging each other back and forth, hanging out in person. So how did this friendship grow?
Oh man, it was super random. So, you know, GIE, which is now Equip, 1 year.
2019.
Yeah, man. I was
my first year.
Ben's first year. I was walking up. You know, there's the tram that'll take you to the front, and I was parked real far away this time. And I'm like, dang, I gotta get on the tram. You know, I get on the tram.
That's back when you paid for parking.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And,
now it's free.
Free
now
parking.
It's free.
Now.
That's best part of the event right there, man.
Yeah.
And Ben came up to me. He said, Jaymz Shields, you know, second mile, and I was like, what's up, man? You know, and shook his hand, and man, we talked shop, and I mean, we never looked back, man. We've been friends ever since, and it's been such a great friendship. And then I realized how close he is, man. You know, he's about an hour and 45 minutes from me.
Yeah.
And
when you told me you from Nashville, I said, man, you ain't too far. You're 2 hours from my house.
That's right.
I said, man, I'm gonna have to link up with you. And you know, from then on, after 2019 GIE, we stayed in contact pretty close and followed him, got to see his work, you know, and got to I come up here every so often. We'll get together on the weekends or we'll hang out and stuff. But ever since 19, it's been a good friendship, and you know, and that's the greatest thing, you know, about the community is this social media. It's meeting guys that, you know, you're locally close to and you get to network with and share ideas. And, you know, if, you know, we've had conversations with jobs, you know, if one don't go good this way, you know, James will call me, Ben, you know, how would you handle this situation? You know, and, you know, I would give him some ideas of what, if I was in, you know, if James was in my shoes, what I would, you know, that'd be the best thing for me to try to do, you know, whether it's doing a mulch installation, you know, river rock, you know, I do a lot of river rock, you know, and whether it be shrubs, you know, no matter what the job is, you know, it's always good to just link up with each other and share good ideas, you know, and it's been a good friendship along the way. You know, me, you, and Eli, we've, you know, it's over the last.
How did Eli get into this equation? That's we just had Eli on the program last week. Eli Beltzazar from BLC. I know. How did he kind of be in the trio here?
So Ben introduced us, man, and he, you know, he's the catalyst for all this. So I got to give credit where credit's due. But he said, man, you need to meet Baltazar. You know, he's a good dude. You'll like him, man. He's killing it, and he's not too far from me. Yeah. And so one time we went down to Alabama. I was coming to see Ben, and we actually met Eli. He was mowing one of the Murphy gas stations he does, and all his guys were working. And I mean, they were busting tail.
Yeah.
And they just, you could tell he commanded respect, and they loved him, and he was a man of the people. Like just the way he carried himself. You know, man, this dude is legit. You know, and I met him. He looks really intimidating. He's a short guy, but he looks really intimidating when you meet him. And he had his aviators on, and I came up and talked to him, and I'm like, man, that's the most humble dude you've ever met. And I mean, absolutely loves what he does, takes care of his family. It's just it's a really cool story, man. And one of my biggest things in business is I love to surround myself with people that are better than me in certain aspects. And as far as like net worth and that type of thing, and I mean, Ben makes more money than me. Eli makes more money than me, which is fine. I love being around that people because that'll help you grow and get back, you know, get better yourself.
We want you to make more money at the end of the day.
Yeah, they get on to me, man. They say I don't make enough, but
you know,
I love what I do.
Iron
man.
sharpens iron. That's right.
That's it. That's what I want, and that's what we try to preach. You know.
Yeah, they're on me, buddy.
Yeah, well, that's how Brian Fullerton is with me. We got to have dinner last night, and he just stretches me. He's so smart at business, and we were sitting there, and he's asking me about this and asking me about that, and the honest truth is I was underperforming in a couple of the questions he had for me. He's like, how's this going? How's that going? And I was like, oh, here's, you know, the numbers tell a story.
They do.
And he's like, bro, you're you got to get it together. And I was like, I kind of thought that. And but it stretches you. So I understand that. But
it feels good having somebody tell you though. And even if it stings a little, because you know it's coming from a place of love, especially if they care about you. And that's what I love about the community, man. These guys aren't my competition. None of us should be anyway. But with them being in another state, it doesn't even matter. Like, they're gonna
even if
help
you're
you
in
out.
Nashville, it's like, okay, we'll take this subdivision, Wellington or whatever the name of it is, you know, and then you take, you know, Oak Hill or whatever. Like, you can be within 10 miles of each other and still not necessarily, I mean, you could help each other. Like, what are you charging for pine straw? What are you charging for mulch? What are you charging for this plant? How do you do your billing? Like, what's most common? Because it's different. And, you know, in climates like Florida, you can build different than in the Midwest where it's smaller city. So anyway, getting to talk to someone locally in, you know, Tennessee and Alabama, you guys are in the same. I'm assuming you got Bermudas and what do you guys got up here?
We're tall fescue, man.
Oh, really?
Jaymz is big on
And you're not the same.
Yeah, Jaymz is big on fescue up here.
It's weird, man. I did a landscape job yesterday. We did a pallet of sod, new mulch, new plants. Did, you know, a bunch of pencil hollies. Did a lot of install work, prepped the sod. And the guy's front yard was all Bermuda, and he's like, dude, I really want something different. I want something softer for my feet in the back. And it's a subdivision, and literally every yard is Bermuda.
I love Bermuda.
And I can't stand it. And I'm a fescue guy, man. Bermuda can't stripe. I'll lay some lines and some fescue, buddy.
That is true.
Unless you're rolling carpet. If you want to roll some carpet, cut that Bermuda. But he was just like, I want fescue, man. And so we did the whole backyard fescue. And I mean, first thing dude was doing was walking around with no shoes on outside, you know. So that made me feel good. Like, okay, he loves what we
Maybe
did,
he's
you know?
debt free. Dave Ramsey just said, I'm debt free. Doesn't your grass feel different when you're debt free?
Oh my gosh, man. Who are you telling?
I love some Dave Ramsey, man.
Practice that 100%, dude. Everything in my business is paid off. Like, I don't have
Look at these jokers.
I know, man.
Oh, man. Welcome to Nashville, buddy.
Man, shirtless and everything. We
may have to get on one of those after this, Paul.
Man,
see what's up.
But
I don't know if you want to get on that one.
No,
that was men for those listening right now. You said shirtless. We got guys listening.
It is Pride Month. We got to be careful out here.
I don't think that's the pussy we're looking.
Oh, man. Shoot.
That's hilarious.
That's
funny.
Yeah, Jaymz.
Yeah, dude, you'll see them all day long, man, driving around. We mow some over here on 8th Avenue. You go down the street and turn right, and dude, you'll be at a stoplight, and you'll see the craziest stuff, and you're like, only in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's nuts, you know.
Well, I got to get it together, guys. We're going to cut the commercial here for today's show sponsor. Our Mr. Producer's back in his studio saying, come on, Paul.
That's all right.
All right. We'll be right back, guys. More with Jaymz and Ben as the road tour rolls on from beautiful downtown Nashville, Tennessee.
One eternity later.
Well, guys, we are back, and I want to ask you guys probably the hottest topic as the host of the Green Industry Podcast. I get a lot of DMs, emails, coaching calls, and they're asking the same questions, and that's regarding pricing. Like, the gas prices are over $4 at the time we're recording this. If you have diesel, it's even more than that. And every expense, whether it's a new lawnmower, it's a new trailer, it's a new truck, every single expense that we're having, it's going up. My QuickBooks subscription, you know, went up, then it went up again. And everything from the softwares to the equipment to the gas, it's all going up. And our industry's in such a habit of guys will cut a yard for $40, and then the next year they cut it for $40 and they cut it for $40. And we're kind of getting to a place where unless you really know your numbers and your price is staying ahead of inflation and rising costs, you know, you're going to really get into a dangerous zone. So Jaymz and Ben, you can add more onto this. I know we've talked about this on air, off air. What are you doing to combat these crazy rising expenses to run your business?
Speaking of that, so the HOA contract I was telling you I got, it's about 30 minutes from my house, and which is quite a drive. We're talking no route density, but it can be profitable if you're over there and only there for one day. You know what I mean? If you're in and out and you got the right people. And so I just make sure we're set up, you know, correctly to do the work that day, have everything we need so we don't have to backtrack. Gas is extremely expensive on that side of town, so fuel up the night before, you know, do those type of things. But one of the things I added, which I heard, I can't even remember who said it, I think it may have been Corey Ballard or somebody, but it's talking about adding a fuel surcharge.
Yes.
And so
James Mansky mentioned that on this program too.
So I put one in the clause when I did the contract, and the lady was like, oh, that's fine, I understand. And at the time, gas wasn't $4 yet. And I was like, I'm just giving you a heads up, you know, if it is, you know, we need to add X amount of dollars every month. And they're completely okay with that. And I'm very thankful for the understanding and that type of thing. And it sounds crazy, but I mean, the way Nashville is growing, you have no problem setting premium prices for any customer starting out brand new, you know, new yard. I mean, I'm not dropping my gate for less than $55-$60. I don't care what it is. It can be a little pitch square that you can mow with a push mower or weed eat it. It's going to be $50, $60. And I just think that's just what it is, and that's how you got to combat that. And obviously be fair, help out where you can, but definitely don't short yourself in the process. And I've been there, done that. And before social media and before learning and having tools readily available, made those mistakes, and you're not going to catch me doing it again.
Yeah, and James, I think the mistake, I don't know if you've ever done this too, Ben. I definitely did this when I was starting. I go to a customer's yard and I'm like, I really want this property. And so I was like, I kind of know in the neighborhood they're charging $250 a month. So, and I want to make sure I get it.
Yep.
So I give them a quote for $225 just to make sure I get it. And what happens is I do get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get another one at $225 and another one and another one. And now all of a sudden I'm working all day.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time I fix this, buy that, pay this, I'm a rat in a wheel real quickly where now you're working your butt off. The money comes in and it flies out like a bird. And,
That's it.
And the way to fix that, you can't really cut the expenses like, it's not like you can, I'm just going to get rid of a trailer. Well, what are you going to do?
Right.
Carry the, what I mean? Like you need
Carry
a truck, you
around.
need a trailer,
Yeah.
you need equipment, you need softwares, you need to pay your employees, you need all this stuff.
Yeah.
So the real solution isn't, and I'm not saying don't be, if you can find a better auto insurance, by all means, get the best deals.
Yeah.
But that's at the end of the day, you have to make more money.
Yes, sir.
And so
Wow.
have you ever found yourself doing that, James, where you go out to quote, whether it's that HOA or it's just a regular job, and you're like, well, probably should do 60, but I'm gonna do 55, or how did you get to the premium where you're like, you know what, this is gonna be higher than Chuck?
Dude, I made it I just set it in my head, and I think you realize you get to a certain point, not all money is good money. And I've been like that for a couple of years now, and it sounds so just bougie and above it, and I hate that because I'm a very humble person. But I'll tell somebody flat out, I'm just like, hey man, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you can get somebody to do it for that. If you do, let me get his number. I'll let him cut my yard. And not even in a bad way, just telling them. And I've been I don't know how many estimates I've sent out this year and didn't get a response back. Mm-hmm. And I'm on the lower end compared to people in Nashville. I'll say that right now. And I get one of my, they get on to me all the time about landscape installs and pricing, and I'm a little high, and I'm just like, or I'm a little low, and I'm just like, dude, like, I get the work though, and I know my time frame, I know the people I have, we can get it knocked out in a day, and still make pretty good money. And profit margin on a landscape job is 60%. You don't really make that much, but if it keeps the machine going and I'm still able to fill in work for the week for my guy, make sure he's always got a full week's worth of work and my bills are paid, and I'm okay, really, honestly. I'm very happy where I'm at in business, and it's okay to say no. You got to learn to say that.
What would you say to the guy, maybe he's not a manager at Chick-fil-A or whatnot, but he's got a job that's kind of like steady, reliable. He knows, every 2 weeks or whatnot, he's going to get his paycheck, but it's just not, he's not excited on Monday morning. He just can't wait to jump out of bed and go run his business, but he wants to start a business or go full time. What would you say to that guy now that you've made the transition?
Go for it, man. It does not happen overnight, but take that chance. If you get the opportunity to bid on a job, somebody that needs help with something, go check it out. Give them a price. Don't be afraid. When you quote something, stick to your guns. When you're first starting out, a lot of people will be combative with your price. Oh, that's a little high, it is. Be firm in what you tell somebody, and honestly, man, just stick with it, because it is really tough. It really is. And if you don't have a good support system, whether that be your friends, your family, your loved ones, significant other, whatever, that'll be a driving force for you to continue to do that.
I'll say this too. Brian and Corey talk about it all the time. Being comfortable. Being comfortable, or you want to be uncomfortable sometimes, and sometimes you have to get uncomfortable to be comfortable. Brian, I've heard him talk about that on his podcast a lot. And being in this industry, sometimes you have to get uncomfortable a lot. Whether it's Monday morning, like you said, Paul, you wake up, what I got to go do for the day. I got to make this much. I'm excited. Let's go knock it out.
And you have that dialed in. It's 1,000 to 1,200,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Like,
yes, sir. Try to every day.
I have to make. We're talking top line revenue. $1,000 a day.
Try to more than that. If we can do, and it, you only have so much time in a day,
right?
And you want to spend time with your family. When you get done in the evening, you're tired. You want to cut it off. You got to have that cut off at some point. You don't be working till 7 or 8 o'clock, and I know guys do, but, as you get older, and I'll say this, I'm 25 now. When I was 16, 17, 18, yes, I was out there working late, but I look back now, you have to do that for a few years just to get get something built from the ground up. And by means, I didn't purchase my business for nothing. I started from the bottom up, and I've been blessed beyond. But sometimes starting in them first few years, Brian's gone back to when he first started. He's been there. Everybody's been there. You have them long days where, and it all goes back to, I listened to Brian's episode on the way up there yesterday. What's your why?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you do this? And it's really important that you have your why, whether it's a family member back home, your wife, anybody that's in your family. What is your why, and why do you love what you do and have such compassion for what you do every day? And, sometimes you have to put them hours in, but you need to have a set goal. I know you have customer lines, and I've dropped customers this year. They've either found ones that's cheaper than me, and I've told them that's fine. We appreciate your business. If we could ever take care of you in the future, let me know, but you're going to have those customers. You're going to have them times where you're going to break down and cry, and I've been there before, but you got to just look back and see how far you came, and you can do better. And this is what this is all about. Today, together in the trades, with Brittany and Caleb, Brian, Liz, they care and they love each and everybody in this room that I'm sitting out of right now, and they want the best for their families to grow and have a better life, and that's what it all revolves around to. And I believe firm in it every day, But at the end of the day, it's tough, but top line revenue, you want to have a goal, and I try to every day, but it's tough and it ain't easy, It takes some time,
Megan and Joey are my bookkeepers. They used to be called Gulf Coast Bookkeeping. I think they're changing their name to the Landscaping Bookkeeper, but they gave me my number. Mm-hmm. It's 5 digits. It's a big number, but they're like, this is your break even, Paul. Right. So every month, no questions asked, you have to cross this threshold. Right. So my kind of game I play with myself is how fast in the month can I hit that goal? Can I hit it by the 25th? Can I hit it by the 23rd? Mm-hmm. Because after that, everything's kind of, icing on the cake, profit. Yeah. There has been a couple months, unfortunately, where I didn't even hit it. And then it's like, I got to really ask myself, was I giving my time to non-income producing activities? What did I get distracted with? Why did I not hit my goal? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's always a glaring reason of what I screwed up on. Mm-hmm. But then it's fun, the month where you cross that at the 18th, 19th, and you're just
good, man.
Yeah. Like Brian always says, print money.
That's right, man.
It feels great. But the reason I bring that up, Ben kind of knows his break even down to the day. And of course, when you have it for the month, and you can look at how many work days you have, and you can take it down to the weekday hourly rate. Again, I don't want to get into, our boy John Pajak can walk you through all this in 4 hours and things like that. We could really nerd out on figuring out your break even, but it's good to have that goal of here's what I got to do. Because when you work at Chick-fil-A or whatever, you can mail it in. Okay, I'll go to work. Of course you want to be a servant and do a good job and all that, but really mentally you can just kind of coast if you're having a bad day or whatever. Yeah. But when you run a business, you can't just mail it in or you're going to get bit. You know what I mean?
That's so true. That's so true, man. The biggest thing for me, Ben hit on it too, we kind of talked about the why. And my why was freedom, just for scheduling purposes, man. I had an instance with, I won't say any names, but I had an instance with a manager there. And we had some trouble with my schedule, man. I couldn't get off. And it ended up being a thing where it was like you needed to either decide you want this job or do you. My grandmother was really sick, and they were like, "Do you want to be here or do you want to take care of your grandmother?" And obviously, I'm going to choose my grandmother. And so,
come on, Liz.
So
Liz Fullerton, everybody.
Ended up, there she is walking by. Right. Ended up deciding that, and thankfully I had to work. God was like, okay, I'm providing the opportunity. Go out on faith, and so it's been nonstop ever since. But that was my why, man. Was my schedule and being able to be there for my family. I just think that's extremely important. I don't have that exact number I want to make every day, but I'm pretty good about if I make $600 to $800 a day, I feel pretty good. And again, man, that's myself and paying my guys and. I'm not in it to get rich. A lot of people are. I'm in it to just do okay. I want to stay under the radar, keep me under 6 figures. I'm good. And I mean, that's my happy medium, and that's where I want to be. And my buddies that are huge get into me all the time about that. And man, you could grow this thing huge if you wanted to, but I don't want to.
And then there's more responsibility. Hey, Pook.
Old Pookie.
Lamont. It's about to get rowdy here. It looks like they're getting out for the break, so we'll wrap things up here before it gets too loud. But with that, I was just hanging out with Eric Hill yesterday.
Yep.
He's a 21-year-old, and he has 10 employees, and he was just stressed out, right? They had, I think, 2 flat tires on 2 different crews, and they had, I forget, oil was leaking on one mower, and we're sitting here at Chick-fil-A, and I'm on my tour, which is just, I got not a care in the world. We're on the University of Arkansas campus.
Yeah.
I'm just cool as a cucumber, you know what I mean? At peace, and Eric's stressing out. He's like, oh man, this crew's got a mower down. Yeah. This crew's got an oil leak. This crew's got a flat tire.
It's stressful.
And that's the thing when you have multiple crews. The upside is more money. He's not making no $1,000 a day. That's right. He's making multiple $1,000s in a day. Yeah. But you also have to calculate that there's more responsibility. There's going to be more flat tires. There's going to be more oil. We're dealing with people. There's going to be more customers.
Phone calls. Yes,
I literally was walking out. I was making TikToks with this crew. I was just filming them, and the one lady's fence had a code on it, and they couldn't get in. He's like, last week when we were here, they didn't have a code. Why did they have a code? Why didn't they tell us? And you have all that stuff. So and I'm not saying, listen, there's a ton of people here that are my friends that make tons of money, that have larger crews, and for some people that's the path that you should go. But there's also a contentment when I interview guys like Jaymz, Jason Creole, Johnny Moe, the list goes on and on. There's guys that, you know what, I'm comfortable here. I can pay all my bills. My family's taken care of. Absolutely. And I don't need or want the stress of additional crews, additional customers, all of us as humans are imperfect. And so the more people that are involved in the equation,
it's a big animal.
Yeah, the more. So anyway, a lot of guys, the reason I just emphasize it so strongly, a lot of guys just see dollar signs. Like, we just add another crew and
chasing the money
everywhere.
And that's okay. But if you're gonna consider that, you have to consider the pros and the cons. You're also gonna have all kind of other things. Hey Jeremiah, are you good to be on next? All right, cool. Yeah. We got Alabama theme, man. Roll Tide. Oh, he likes Auburn Tigers, don't he?
Yeah, he's an Auburn fan.
What do they like around here? The Vanderbilt?
Oh man, anybody liking the Commodores around here?
Nobody.
No anchor down over here, buddy.
I didn't even know their last name. What's up, Pookie?
We're a good old Rocky Top, man. We're Vols fans around here.
I think Tennessee's gonna be good this year.
We are gonna be good this year.
I've been hearing that. My friend Volunteer Roadshow, he has a YouTube channel. They've been saying that for years.
We all say that every year, man. But this is the year.
I hope so.
Mark my words, buddy.
I hope so.
Mark my words.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the season, next year.
We'll get them next time.
No, man.
Says the Cleveland Browns fan. All right, guys. Well, real quick, Equip. Y'all going?
Yes, sir. We'll be there.
I'll be there.
And Ben, what's the promo code to get 50% off this year?
Promo code Paul.
Come on now.
PAUL, guys.
Please use Paul.
And they have a early bird special right now, so the tickets are only $20 for a limited time.
Don't wait last minute. If you show up the day of Expo and I see you pay, was it
full
60?
price? No,
full price.
I think it's probably $80 this year.
$80,
and you have to stand in the long line. So if you order your ticket now, you'll get 50% off the $20. That's only $10 to register, and I'm pretty sure you'll get your badge in advance.
Oh, yes, sir.
So there's a cutoff date, and I don't know what it is, so I don't want to mess this up. But if you wait till after the cutoff date, you don't get early access, and when you get there, it is like Disney World. This line is so long.
It's huge.
So be responsible. Get on top of this. Marty will put the link in today's show notes for the Equip Expo. Use promo code Paul. Save yourself 50% off. And last but not least, thanks again to Ballard Products, Company Cam Echo for sponsoring this tour. And big shout outs to Brian and Liz Fullerton and Caleb and Brittany Allman because they're giving us this time and space. Y'all don't understand. As a podcaster, when I go to tours, I have to go to people's houses. I have to set up, my computer, my roadcaster, my microphone, my camera, set up, tear down. It's multiple hours. And then I go to the next city just for one interview. And so when I'm able to come together into trades, Brian and Liz and Caleb and Brittany are so generous. They let me set up right in the main area, and that way we can set up once and then get ton of fire episode for you guys. So
and we appreciate you, Paul. Like you said, it goes back to Brian, Liz, and Brittany and Caleb, and the community, and Corey, and all our sponsors, Echo. We appreciate y'all very much. Without them, we wouldn't be able to be doing this right now.
Well, we wouldn't be able. We wouldn't be able at this scale to share this information.
Oh yeah, that's
me and you would still. Before I ever had a podcast or an Instagram following and all that. Caleb Allman and Naylor and Pajak and myself, we met each other at GIE and things of that nature. So we had these conversations like, hey, my customer's mad at me. Here's the deal. I'm all stressed out, you know, and I'm asking Caleb, what do I think I should, you know, what should I do? What would you do if you're me? And this is literally 2015, 16. We're having all these conversations, but now we're having the same conversations with microphones in front of us, and then we're sharing it, and people in Denmark are listening to it.
Yeah, that's right.
And Australia and Europe.
And they're using it to plug it into their business and make things better for them on their end.
Yeah, because then they tell us, hey, man, the competition mean mugs us at the corner, and they don't talk to us, but we're getting our information from y'all. And we have a community now of hundreds of other folks that are enjoying sharing this information, and it's just helping everybody else. Because I remember crying. You mentioned crying. Eli mentioned crying at the gas station.
It's been tough.
I remember being in this guy's backyard, a grown man, and I'm crying. I'm on my hands and knees. I'm putting in zoysia sod, and I'm crying because I lost thousands of dollars on this job. I actually did it 3 times. I put it in.
I've been there.
He didn't water it. He made me put it back in because I didn't have a good contract.
Yep.
Come back. We had a huge drought. Didn't water again. I did it a 3rd time, and I lost a ton of money.
Yeah.
Well, that crying you did a little water in, though. Just kidding, Paul.
Yeah, zoysia needs more than my tears.
Yeah.
But my point is, if we can put this content out there,
yes,
we don't want you to have to be in a backyard crying. We don't want you to have to be in a gas station crying.
No.
We're sharing and vulnerably sharing our stories.
That's
that
right.
we are grown men, and our businesses has brought us to our tears. But if we would have had a different set of information, I could have avoided that job. I could have just simply had a clause in my contract. There's no warranty.
Exactly.
You need to water it, and if you don't water it,
it's on you.
That's on you. But I was a rookie, and I didn't know, and he's like, you guarantee this, right? And I wanted the job. So, oh, yes, sir, of course. You know, I'm a desperate puppy here, and the guy just had me over the barrel. You know what I mean?
That's it, man.
But anyway.
Yeah, it's just, it all falls back to, you know, we want to create better lives for everybody and everybody's families. You know, at the end of the day, you want to go home and be able to support your family and you know, make a better life for them and yourself, you know, and your business. I want you to be happy. And you know, it's just tough times that, you know, we've all come across them, and you know, sometimes it's not always, you know, like I said, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. You know, it's a battle every day, emotionally stressful, you know, but you have to want it, and you have to know why.
Yeah,
you know, it's important.
I think it goes back to the Bible too, man. If you're in a position to help, always help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think all of us have had these trials. We've made the mistakes. We've been there. We've done that. Man, we're in a position to help these young guys now and see them succeed. And, I mean, I love it. I wish I would have had that 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I didn't. But I love the opportunity now to be able to see others grow. And it just feels good, man. It really, really does to give back if you're in a position to. And I'm thankful for that. Thankful for you guys, too.
Totally. Well, thanks for watching, guys. This is on YouTube, Green Industry Podcast with Paul Jamison. And thanks for listening on the podcast platforms. So I'm going to go get a sip of water and get Pookie and Jeremiah, and we'll keep the show rolling here from downtown Nashville, Tennessee, man. Stay off that bus, James.
You already know. You already know. Not today.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Smash that subscribe button, and I hope to catch you on the next program.
Yes, sir.